The bye week is officially here, marking the halfway point of the Dallas Cowboys 2022 regular season, and it comes with a win. 49-29 over the Chicago Bears as the Cowboys now improve to 6-2 on the NFL season, and we're here to break it down for you on Special Edition. With Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church, Nate Newton, I'm Kyle Yeomans as we break it down. Cowboys get their second win in a row, their sixth win in 7 tries, and they get a little bit of rest before taking on the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field in Week 10 of the season. But I'm going to start, Barry, with you on this one. So we're going to get things underway. How has your opinion of this Cowboys team, or maybe the expectations for this Cowboys team, changed from Week 1 now to the bye week?
I'm not going to lie. I thought this team was dead in the water. Once Dak Prescott went down on that Week 1 injury, I said, all right, this is a wrap. You know, we might have a top 10 pick coming up here soon. But Cooper Rush, this offense, this coaching staff, they got these players ready to roll, and they were able to take full advantage of what the wins that they were able to have. Now they got the QB1 back in fold. The sky's the limit for this team now.
So you thought it was like a wrap, like a gift on Christmas, huh? No. So, yeah, I'm right there with you. I think that these guys have done a great job positioning themselves to be successful with Dak now back. But now you're asking Dak to show who he was last year. So you're hoping to see him show back up. You're hoping to see this running game continue. The defense is playing lights out. Now Big Hankins and everybody else continue to do what you want to do on that defensive front and prevent teams from being able to run the ball.
You know what, fellas? We're all thinking the same thing. We watch the same shows. We do the same shows. We're overdone. Dak is gone. But like my man Barry said, Cooper Rush came in there and did his job. Coach McCarthy held his team together. They rolling.
And it really feels like every week it's somebody different that plays a bigger role and comes in and makes different plays along the way. This past week against the Chicago Bears, the star was Tony Pollard, 131 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns. It was a Pollard party in the end zone all day long. Barry, how impressive was Tony's performance, and how could he continue that going forward?
Without a doubt, it was extremely impressive to me. All right, I mean, Tony Pollard was out there, and he was ready for this role. You know, they didn't overload his plate. They only gave him 14 carries out there, and he took full advantage of those 14 carries for 131 yards and 3 touchdowns. And I got to give a shout-out to the offensive line as well, because they played their butts off. Some of those lanes that he was running through, Nate, they were at least 5 yards wide.
You know what? They gave him options. He had a front side point of attack. He had a backside lane that he can cut into, and he handled the safeties real well when he got an open field. This dude, keep him where you at. Hey, Tony, don't let him fool you. 15 carries, you can always like it.
You guys hit it on the head. This guy took care of his responsibility. The offensive line, as you mentioned, Barry, took care of theirs. They made it so that all he had to deal with was simply just making one guy miss in the open field, and we know that's one thing that he can do very well.
And right back at you on the Dak Prescott side of things as well. He came in his second game back from injury. He had 6 incompletions, much like the first week he did back from injury. What do you think of his performance against the Bears, Isaiah?
I think he reeled it in. I think that there are some throws that he wished he could have back. You know, that's one right there. You know, some are a little bit back here on the back shoulder, but this is kind of what the rest that you expect to have from him. You know, ultimately, try to cut down on the turnovers. The one turnover he did have wasn't his fault.
Yeah, outside of that one turnover, I think, you know, Dak Prescott played a great game. I mean, I feel like he was cool, calm, and collected and had much control of this offense throughout the entirety of the game. And I think Kellen Moore did a great job of sticking with that formula that has gotten them victories, leaning on the ground game, leaning on your defense. It may not be flashy, but if it can get the job done, and you'll get W's for it.
I almost lost it. He threw that interception, but once again, Isaiah calmed me down and told me that things happening. But I tell you what, he looks sharp, he looks good, and he's ready to help the team win.
We're going to take a look at that interception a little bit later on in the show and break down the film on the telestrator, tell you why it wasn't necessarily Dak Prescott's fault. But while there has been some positives, and it was a positive for the Cowboys to win 49-29 over the Bears, there was a negative this week. Tristan Hill was released. He was waived by the Cowboys, 4th-year, second-round pick in 2019. Really the first pick of that draft, because the 2019 first-round pick was traded for Amari Cooper. So he doesn't necessarily pan out as a Dallas Cowboy. Nate, whenever you look at Tristan Hill's tenure, what's going to be one of the first things you remember?
He'll flasher. He'll flash, and your job is to stop the run. I mean, you're a 1 technique and a 3 technique. And they came in, new coaches, everything changed. It kind of knocked him to the bottom of the pole. He was playing well, had a great training camp, but he was at the bottom of the pole, and this sometimes happened in our league.
Yeah, you're 100% right, Nate. I mean, on this one, it was a low man on a totem pole, and he was with the old regime, like you said. And then if you look at his production over the time he was with the Cowboys, 33 tackles and only a half a sack. I mean, with that type of production, you're going to be the low man on the totem pole, especially with this deep defensive line that the Cowboys have. Hopefully he's able to find his footing elsewhere.
It's the deepest room on the team, and that's really what it comes down to. And to your point, Nate, you can't be a flasher when their room is that deep and you have that much talent. If you're not showing up often and showing up consistently, you're going to find your way out the door. Good luck to him in the future.
And there are plenty of playmakers on that defense to make up for the loss of Tristan Hill as he is waived. He could end up on the practice squad if no other team claims him, but as a former second-round pick, feel like that might be few and far between as he may not slip through the cracks. When we come back, though, let's talk about some of the weapons on the defensive side of the football. How far can Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, and company carry this defense and carry the Cowboys after the bye week?
Special edition presented by AT&T is brought to you by Ford F-Series, the best-selling truck in Texas. Reliant, an NRG company. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team. And by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by Salvation Army, Love Beyond.
You know, it's an amazing year that he had as far as turnovers, but you consistently see people talking about what he's not doing well. But what people are not seeing is that kid is still young, still learning the position. So he only has room to grow, And, you know, that's kind of where we're like, hey, we really don't care what anybody else is saying outside of the building. We're going to tighten it up inside of the building and work on the areas that we need to work on.
The wise words of defensive back coach Al Harris, who's done it a time or two throughout his playing career, and now keeping that wisdom and bringing it to the Cowboys in his role as the defensive backs coach. Back here on Special Edition. And, of course, he was talking about Trayvon Diggs, the former All-Pro who had 11 interceptions last year. He's got 3 this year, but he continues to play better and grow in his 3rd year in the NFL. Barry, when you look at Trayvon Diggs, how has he grown as a cornerback since his first year back in 2020?
I think it all comes down to his technique. You know, I think he's done an amazing job this offseason of getting better at the little small things. That his press technique at the line of scrimmage, his hand placement this year is unbelievable, and it's gotten guys jammed up at the line of scrimmage. And then you talk about last year how teams were able to hit him with double moves, and that's because his eyes were in the wrong place. This year, you can tell his eye discipline is off the charts, and Joe Witt Jr. and Al Harris have gotten this guy an elite status right now. In my opinion, he's one of the top 3 corners in the National Football League.
I think he is just simply being more patient and being more selective in terms of when he decides to take those calculated risks. Last year, he was rolling the dice. It was just straight gambling. I mean, if he saw an opportunity, he was going after it. Now he's actually thinking through the route concept. Now he's thinking about who has my back if I don't catch it, if I don't get this interception. He's being more precise, and I think he's being more patient also in his coverage. He's staying in the shadows and kind of staying in the hip pocket of these receivers.
What I see from coming from training camp is this guy, he's starting to understand that they're relying on him more. So he's maturing more. He's understanding that he can't take those high-risk jumping of the ball. So he's slowed down, he's matured, and he's playing much better ball.
What about Micah Parsons? How has he grown from a rookie season where he was Defensive Rookie of the Year, and now he's turning into a Defensive Player of the Year type of candidate?
You know what? He's the point guard because everybody's is living off of him. I mean, he had a few games where he didn't have any sacks, but other guys had 2 and 3 sacks. He's doing his job. He understands where he fits in his defense. He's the leader, but he's helping other people. He's assisting other people in being better. He's raising the level of play around guys.
Without a doubt, he's raising the level above for everybody out there. He's creating more one-on-ones for the rest of the defensive line. And you talk about a guy with an extremely high motor and is extremely talented. He's making his job easier for the secondary as well because his ability to get after the quarterback and make that quarterback make decisions before he's ready to is unmatched in this National Football League. I think he's a top 3 candidate for the Defensive Player of the Year. This guy, I mean, he's unbelievable.
He's a Tasmanian devil. He's a Tasmanian devil. And one thing we know about Tasmanian devils, they tear things up. That's exactly what he's doing on his defense.
And he's been a coach's best friend since he was drafted with that number 12 overall pick in 2021. Dan Quinn loves him. You know Mike McCarthy loves him as well. But who's getting the majority of the credit for what has been really a turnaround from that Week 1 debacle up into a 6-2 record heading into the bye week?
This segment was brought to you by Salvation Army, Love Beyond. This segment is brought to you by Ford F-Series, the best-selling truck in Texas.
6-2 record for the Cowboys entering the bye week as we welcome you back into special edition. And who is getting the majority of the credit and who deserves the majority of the credit is what we're going to talk about here in this segment with Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church, Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Yeomans. And Isaiah, I'll start with you on this one with Mike McCarthy. Does he deserve more credit than he's been getting because of the way this team has played entering the bye week?
I don't think he cares. I really don't think that he cares. I mean, his job is to manage the men on this team that coach the young men, and that's exactly what he's doing. He has a great coaching staff that he's been able to assemble, and they are doing exactly what they're supposed to do and put these guys in position to be successful.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think Mike McCarthy, he's doing a heck of a job out there. Early in the season and even last year, this team had to deal with a lot of penalties. He slowly but surely made this team a much more disciplined team. And then in years past, all you heard about with Cowboys teams, they can't start fast. They're not ready to play. That hasn't been the case this year. They've come out fast and furious each and every week, even without their starting quarterback for 5 weeks. Mike McCarthy has done a heck of a job with this team.
I love that he didn't change. Dak went down, he didn't blink. You saw him quick like after the game when he got here, he said, oh, he just went to work. Went to work.
Figured it out. And,
yes,
of course, his coordinators have helped out with that as well. So let's talk about Dan Quinn and this defense, one of the best in the NFL. Barry, when you look at Dan Quinn, how much has he made an impact on this team?
It's like night and day with this guy. I mean, this is the mad scientist for a reason. He's getting the most out of each and every one of his players. And I've been on talented defenses in the past that have underperformed because the players didn't believe in what the coaches was preaching out there. But each and every one of these players, they believe in what Dan Quinn is coaching out there, and he's done a heck of a job with this defense.
I'm just going to run. I'm going to run. Because if you pass, you're going to be confused. As offensive line, and I don't want to be confused. Hey, he's lighting it up.
What about on the offensive side with Kellen Moore? He had the #1 offense in the NFL last year. This year, a little bit of struggles, kind of like what we saw at the back end of the schedule last year. But Isaiah, feels like they're starting to catch a bit of a rhythm.
Yeah, he's trying to put this puzzle back together. He lost some pieces early on, and now he found them. And he was in a bag in the back seat of the car. He found that, and now he's putting his pieces back together. He has Dak back. He's getting the running game back. Now he just has to get this passing game going.
I'm loving Kellen. He was very receptive when Coach McCarthy came to him and said, we'll go over your plays, and they came out a winner. I'm proud of you, Kellen.
And so last year, Troy Aikman called Kellen Moore the pizza boy. Earlier in the year, Isaiah said he was playing with his Lincoln Logs and his Legos, and now you're picking up puzzle pieces. I mean, he's growing along the way. I feel like we're getting to that point finally with Kellen Moore. But you talk about some of the offensive play calling. He has some weapons in the backfield that he's been able to utilize with Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. When we come back, Isaiah Stanback turns into the OC himself. He goes to the film and tells you why both of these guys can simultaneously be in the backfield as well.
This segment was brought to you by Ford F-Series, the best-selling truck in Texas.
I think that's for y'all to decide, but, I'm going to continue to control what I can control. So.
130 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground for Tony Pollard in the win against the Chicago Bears. But the debate has started to rage on amongst Cowboys Nation and amongst the NFL. Who should get the majority of the carries in the Cowboys backfield, Tony Pollard or Ezekiel Elliott? Back here with Isaiah Stanback, I'm Kyle Yeomans here for Special Edition. But let's break it down because it doesn't have to be one or the other, Isaiah. And you're going to take us to the film to show us, starting with Ezekiel Elliott, why does he still deserve a good share of the carries?
You need both of them, Kyle. There's no picking and choosing. It's yin and yang. It's ham and burger, peanut butter and jelly. You need both of these guys together at all times, and we're going to show you exactly why. Okay, Ezekiel Elliott, this dude is the absolute hammer. We're going to show his physicality is unmatched. Whether it's in the pass blocking, whether it's in the rushing attack, this dude cannot be stopped with one person. I'm going to show you guys right here. Go ahead and push the play button. I want you guys to pay attention to the physicality that this guy has at the point of contact. Right here, boom, pause it right there. First point of contact, somebody's grabbing at his ankles, okay? Now he's going to size this dude up right here. He said, I'm going to run right through your chest cavity, and then I'm going to take on another guy right here. Go ahead and keep playing it. All right, boom. 1 guy, 2 guys, 3 guys, 4 guys, 5 guys, and the pile just keeps going. The offensive linemen are pushing them forward. Those are the plays that beat you down time after time. 4 yards a pop, 5 yards a pop. Nothing pretty, but guess what? Those guys get worn down after every play. And then you come with, guess what? The curveball.
Yeah, it's more like a fastball with Tony Pollard.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the thing. You're throwing the curveball with Ezekiel Elliott wearing down that defense, and then here comes the 99-mile-per-hour heater, or maybe the 2-0 heater out of the backfield. What does he do so well that keeps defenses off balance?
It's a change of pace. You got guys that are operating at two different speeds, okay? You got Zeke that's coming in at about 65, 70, cool, but he's a hammer, right? He's coming down, he's hitting you inside the head with that big old noggin of his, okay? And then you got Tony Pollard that's coming with the hot fire. He's fast, he's lightning, he's quick, he can make a guy miss. You're not asking Zeke to make guys miss anymore. You want him to be physical and run through guys, right, and let them know that he's there physically. Yeah. But Tony Pollard is a guy that you're saying, hey, let's leave a man free and see if he can run by him. Here's go ahead and push the play button for me real quick. You guys are going to see here the offensive lineman doing a great job working up to the next level. Pause it right here. Now you have guys free. You have two guys that are coming at him. They can't get there because he is eating up their angle. And what else do you have here? Tony Pollard now identifies that this is the man that he's responsible for. His eyes are dead set on him, and he knows that he has to make a move on him. What does he do? He avoids these first two guys. No ankles, and then he simply just outruns everybody on there, puts the brakes on them. I'm going to turn you around like that too. You didn't do hip mobility work, and you see him, he go all the way down there to the red zone area, giving the Dallas Cowboys the opportunity to score some points. He is just too explosive, he's too fast, and he's making opportunities when they're not even there for any other guys.
He's so explosive that, of course, Cowboys fans everywhere are saying, why can't you get more Pollard carries? But there's a reason for it. He's just not as good in other areas that Ezekiel Elliott could certainly help you out in.
Everybody's wondering why is Zeke still number one?
Sure.
Because Zeke is the physical guy, right? Zeke's the guy in there that you put in there no matter what. Unfortunately, this is not Zeke right here. This is Tony Pollard. This is the one aspect of his game that he's going to continue to work on. What do you do right here when you see a four-man front? You got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys that are down, okay, and then you have a fifth guy that's hanging out here on the perimeter, okay? He's in a wide 9 technique. Typically, okay, you want to see your offensive lineman take the 5 most dangerous men. You see Tony Pollard's eyes right here. He is looking at his keys. He's trying to figure out exactly who he has between this man and the next level, okay? But we're going to see what happens here. Terrence Steele puts him in a bad predicament, but you still have to make him right. Push the play button here. Boom, the ball is snapped. Boom, pause it right there. For whatever reason, all right, Terrence Steele fans out. That's not typically what you want to do. But no matter what, you guys see that Tony Pollard had his guy. He was going out here to that outside man, and Terrence Steele was supposed to sit in here and block him. But guess what? Football happens. You have to now sit in here and sit your weight down, all right, put some rocks in your back pocket and take this defensive lineman on. You see him now out of position, gets ran over, puts Dak in a bad predicament. Luckily, he was able to complete the ball, but those are the type of plays that turn into tips and overthrows and eventually turn to interceptions. He has to be able to identify, yes, he had his right man initially, right, but you have to be able to adjust. When you have Zeke in there, Zeke's able to pick up linebackers, safeties, and defensive linemen.
He did enough to just give Dak Prescott a split second on that play to at least get the ball off in time. But it's almost like as if he were making a decision while toting the rock and running the football, going one way or the other. He's got to be quicker at making that adjustment. Pointing, that time the turf monster kind of got him and slipped out from underneath him a little bit. So it was a little bit different. But there you see it. Tony Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott. It doesn't have to be one or the other. You could use that 1-2 punch all season long for the Dallas Cowboys as they continue their march to an NFC playoff berth. When we come back, how can that march continue in a successful manner and have a really nice bye week and second half of the regular season?
Special edition presented by AT&T was brought to you by Ford F-Series, the best-selling truck in Texas. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. And by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
It could not come at a better time for us, and so I mean it's just wait for the final report here from down below. But it'll be good to get healthy. I mean you could see. the defense, the number of plays that they played yesterday, and the stress that they were under, had some guys go down. So this will be a good week for us to recover.
Normally at this point in Special Edition, we'll give you the keys to the game, but since it is a bye week for the Cowboys, there's no game to give a key to. Instead, keys to a good second half of the season, Isaiah.
It's all about managing your perspective. Know exactly where you're at and know exactly where you're trying to get to.
Okay.
Continue that same formula. Lean on your strengths. Run game, defense, take care of the football.
I'm with these two guys, man. If we can get through this, bye week?
Sure.
We do it by 1 point, baby.
You're predicting a win in the bye week.
Bye week.
That's a bye week win. And, hey, Barry got it covered because you want time of possession. You've always been a big time of possession guy.
It, man.
Can't wear down that defense. You just heard Mike McCarthy. You can't wear down the defense because they're a little banged up, and they're going to take that defense to Lambeau Field next week against the Green Bay Packers. For Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church, Nate Newton, I'm Kyle Yeomans. Thanks for joining us on Special Edition.